Hey, class 12 students, are you in need of guidance? For the story, I want to drive a car of the chapter Lost Spring in Flamingo. Then you are at the right place. So here I am, Harpreet Kaur, your English teacher and guide. So why waste time? Let's get straight into the story understanding. Hi students, today I'm about to start the second part of the chapter Lost Spring whose title is I Want to Drive a Car. Part 1 of this chapter Lost Spring. If you haven't studied that chapter, kindly visit the link given in the description box and go through the chapter to catch up with the explanation and everything regarding this chapter. So now let's move on to, before moving on to the next part, if you are new to my channel and have not yet subscribed my channel, kindly click the subscribe button and after the video do comment so that I can get your comments, and if you need some more kind of videos, you can just give it in comment and I will surely make videos according to your requirement. Thank you, and now let's move further. Mukesh insists on being his own master. Mukesh insists on being his own master. I will be a motor mechanic, he announces. Do you know anything about cars? I ask. Now the chapter begins with a dialogue between the author and Mukesh, in which Mukesh tells author that he wants to become a motor mechanic, and in this way he will become his own master. He need not to be under anybody. So the author asks if he knows about the car, to which he replies that I will learn to drive a car. Okay, that very shortly he will be learning to drive car, and after that surely he will become a motor mechanic. Looking straight into my eyes. So looking straight, this expression of looking straight into my eyes means he confidently tells about his desire, his dream. Now, what is author's thinking about his dream? So, author thinks that his dream looms like a mirage amidst the dust of streets that fill his town, Firozabad. So, he says that it is like a mirage. Now, what is mirage? Is something that marriage is a condition in which a person imagines what he is there in his mind. For example, in a desert, when someone is not getting water for a longer time, he or she loses his mental condition and starts looking water everywhere, and this particular state is called mirage. So in this way, Mukesh's dream is also becoming the author has compared his dreams to a mirage because he is too poor and it might not be possible, probably it won't be possible for him to fulfill his desires, as he belongs to a very poor family and there is not any other kind of business etc. Available there. Every other family in Firozabad is engaged in bangle making. It is the center of India's glass blowing industry, where families have spent generations working around furnaces, welding glass, making bangles. For all the women in the land, it seems like this, and for all the women in the land, it tells about the magnificent, it tells about the it tells about the business of bangles that is being made done in this Firozabad. So in Firozabad, generations have spent, father to son, grandfather to father, and then son, and then further generations have being employed in glass making industry only. Mukesh's family is one of them, is among them. None of them knows that it is illegal for children like him to work in glass furnace with high temperatures in dingy cells without air and light, that the law, if enforced, could get him and all those 20,000 children out of hot furnaces where they slog their daylight hours, often losing the brightness of their eyes. Now it is quite a long sentence but filled with a lot of information, so I would like to take it one by one, the information that is given in this. Okay, so none of them. So here the illegality of the child labor is discussed. The author says that no parent who is sending their children to glass making industry is aware that it is illegal for the children to work in this industry. Okay, and then further the condition of the industry is written here. Furnaces with high temperature, dingy cells without air and light, like there is no light, no air. So here the description of the place where their work is given. Second thing is okay, now the third thing is regarding the enforcement of the law. If the law is enforced, that if this law is particularly enforced, then what will happen? It will leave 20,000 children out of hot furnaces. In a way, it is giving us, this particular line is also giving us information about the number of children they are who are working in this industry. Then further, this description is law, enforcement of law is given, and then the condition, what is the effect of working in under these hot furnaces is given here. The children often loses their often losing brightness of their eyes. That means they generally become blind and they become habitual, or they become blind or habitual to darkness. They become habitual to darkness. Now let's move further. Mukesh's eyes beam. Beam, what do you mean by beam here? It shines. His eye shines when he volunteers, when he offers. He offers the author to have a visit, to take a visit, to pay a visit rather to his home, and he was very happy to take the author to his house. Mukesh, to which he proudly says, is being rebuilt. We walk down the stingy lanes. Now again the description of the place. Here the place is described earlier. The cells, the furnaces, the places where they used to work was described. Now the places where they live is being described here. So it is stinking lanes with choked garbage, past homes that remain oval of crumbling walls, wobbly doors, no windows, crowded with families of humans and animals coexisting in primeval state. Okay, so he is telling us about the smelly, stinking is the smelly area, and it is choked. Choked means filled. It is filled with garbage, and then the crumbling walls is telling us about the closeness, about the closely built houses. The houses are closely built, and the what is the condition of the people who are living. The doors are wobbly. Wobbly stands for weak, and there is no window, and it is quite crowded that animals and human beings are coexisting, like in the primeval stage, when the beginning of the evolution, etc., when the man started taming the animals. At the time, man used to live with the animals only. So it is not advisable to keep the animals at the same place where humans are living, but these people have to live like that. He stops at a door of one such house, bangs wobbly iron door with his foot, and pushes it open. We enter a half-built shack. In one part of it, thatched with dead grass, is a firewood stove over which sits a large vessel of sizzling spinach leaves. Now the description of the house. The author has entered in the house and she is describing. See, this whole paragraph is about description. Firstly, she started describing about the working conditions, then about the environment where the houses are made. Now, what is in the house? That lady is cooking spinach leaves, and on the ground the spinach leaves are being cooked, and aluminum platters, etc., or vegetable chops are given there. And who is cooking that? A frail young woman is cooking the evening meal for the whole family. Through eyes filled with smoke as she smiles. So she when she sees that girl sees the author entering the home, she smiles at her. She is the wife of Mukesh's elder brother, not much older in years. She has begun to command respect as a bahu, the daughter-in-law of the house, already in charge of 3 men, her husband, Mukesh, and their father. Now here the custom of child marriage, is also highlighted, that the girl is not quite mature in age, and still she has got the respect of a bahu, that she has become a daughter-in-law and is taking care of 3 males in the house. Okay. When the older man enters, she gently withdraws behind the broken wall and brings her veil closely to her face. As custom demands, daughter-in-law must veil their faces before male elders. In this case, the elder is an impoverished bangle maker. Despite long years of hard labor, first as a tailor, then as a bangle maker, he has failed to renovate his house, sent his 2 children to school. All he has managed to do is teach them with what he knows, the art of bangle making. Okay, the art of bangle making. So here another custom is described, that is veiling or covering. That in Hindi it is parda pratha. So that custom is still prevalent in this society, and the poverty, the poor condition is described by the author, that Mukesh's father wasn't able to give education, etc., to them, but he could manage to give them only one art that he knew, that was making bangles. Hey, what do you mean by the word destiny? Karam, have you heard these words earlier? Yes, I think you're right. Destiny is something that people believe. Karam is something people believe. It's a theory in which people think that they cannot change what is written in their destiny, that whatever they are getting, that is based on based on the theory that they have already done certain things in the previous births, previous births, etc., and they have to they get the sorrows and happiness in this birth. It is his karam, his destiny, says Mukesh's grandmother, who has watched her own husband go blind with the dust from polishing the glass bangles. Can a God given lineage ever be broken? She implies, born in a caste of bangle makers, they have seen nothing but bangles in the house, in the yard, in every other house, every other yard, every street in Firozabad. So here the theory that the grandmother, as she is old and old fashioned, believes in Karam theory, and she says that a lineage that is given by God cannot be broken. Mukesh wants to become a car driver, a car mechanic, but the grandmother insists that he is born and brought up in bangle maker's family, and sure he will be becoming a bangle maker only, and so he cannot change his profession because everywhere where he is living there is bangles everywhere, and he cannot do anything except bangle making. Spirals of bangles, sunny, gold, paddy green, royal blue, pink, purple, every color born out of the 7 colors of the rainbow, lie in the mounds in unkept yards, are piled on 4-wheeled handcarts, pushed by young men along the narrow lanes of the shanty town, and in dark hut mats next to lines of flames of flickering oil lamps sit boys and girls with their fathers and mothers, welding pieces of colored glass circles of bangles, their eyes more adjusted to darkness than to the light outside. That is why they often end up losing their eyesight before even they become adults. Now in this paragraph, different colors, the writer is here describing about the amount, the quantity of bangles that can be seen in Firozabad. They're every color, every hue in the yard, on the 4-wheeled handcrafts. Handcarts are the carts that is pulled by hand. Then the young men along the narrow lanes in the shanty, everywhere bangles, and the children who work in this bangle industry end up work day and night in dingy cells, and they end up losing their eyesight. It is applied that they do not become adult also. That means even before getting to the age of 18 years, they lose their eyesight, they become blind. See, they become blind. See what is the drawback of working in this bangle making, how this illegal employment of child labor in bangle industry is making these children lose their eyesight even before attaining the age of 18 years. It is an important question. It can come in any kind. It can be the question can be molded, but this part is quite important for every one of you to go through. So go through this properly and try to infer things out of them. Watch the rest of the chapter in the next part. Follow the link in the description box for the next part, and do comment, share and like the video.